PLC Network here with another unboxing, this time coming from the company Logitech, one of our favorite brands out there. We've covered everything from some of their keyboards, their mice, their webcams, the new Brio, the 4K camera that's out, the 922, which is the 1080 version. Before that, the Pro. Just one thing after the next. There's nothing, at least it seems like, there's nothing that Logitech does that isn't awesome. And now, we're a little bit behind the game on this one. Took us a while to get our hands on one of these, but now we bring you the Logitech Harmony Hub. So if you are familiar with the Harmony line of products from Logitech, Harmony is usually remote controls. You know, these are smart learning remote controls that allow you to control all of your favorite gadgets and devices in your house. Usually for like a home theater system, your living room, or anything else, like gaming den. Any kind of a situation where you'd normally have like 4, 5, 6, remotes kicking around and you just want one, you'd pick up something like, if you go cheap, something like a GE remote off of the shelf for $10 that's maybe going to work and probably not. Or you spend a lot more, unfortunately, they are expensive, but you get what you get what you pay for. You spend a lot more and you get a Harmony. And a Harmony remote allows you to download the various different models and devices and everything that you have into it and customize all the controls and options that you want that remote to be able to adjust. And then it's, some of them are touchscreen, some of them are just kind of a basic display, depending on how much you want to spend. It gets pretty expensive. It can go up into the hundreds. But those remotes will allow you to control all of your devices, essentially, most devices. DVD players, Blu-ray players, TVs, video game consoles, you name it, receivers. So they have the alternative option called the Hub. This is the Harmony Hub, and what this is a gadget that sits with amongst all of your other devices and basically turns your cell phone or your smartphone into that remote control. The Hub has an IR blaster and controls all the devices. Your smartphone has an app, and it becomes the Harmony remote. So this is the current version of it, and I don't think there's really been that much that's changed since they first came out with this. It has been out for a little while now. This, for our purposes at least, we're actually taking it to the next level. We are not really going to be using this, because we will be running a story on this later. We aren't going to be using this as a remote feature for a smartphone or using a smartphone. We're actually going to be integrating this into a really complex automation system that's running off of Z-Wave, for the Z-Wave protocol. And the automation system essentially is going to allow us to communicate with the Harmony Hub and control any gadgets we want using scenes. So that way you can actually, say you can take like an ATAC, Aeon Labs, or whatever you call them, the mini mote, which I think we are going to be doing a story on soon. The mini mote, I think it's the newer or the old, I don't know. It's one of the mini motes. They have 4 little buttons on it, and you can assign scenes to it that are, attached to your Z-Wave controller, your brain, which could be a Smart Things Hub, which we have one kicking around. Thank you, Samsung. We also have a Vera Edge kicking around, thanks to, me, because we kind of ran into a little bit of a hiccup there, and we couldn't get that approved, so I kind of went out on that one, just to make sure we had one on site here to play with. All that kind of stuff can talk to this, and then this can talk to your gadgets. Long story short, one little button can set everything in your room however you like it. From your shades to your ceiling fan, assuming it has an IR control, or if it's Z-Wave compatible, to curtains, if you don't have the shades. I think they have both the rolling shutters and the regular blind type shutters that are Z-Wave compatible or IR. So this opens up that the capability of communicating with those devices along with everything else in your Z-Wave network, as well as your TV, your DVD, yada, 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 everything else that I explained previously. So it's kind of a cool all-in-one little toy here. And of course, if you don't have Z-Wave, again, it works with your smartphone. So it turns your smartphone into that controller. So if you do have a lot of gadgets in your living room, throw this in there, pull up your smartphone, and control them all from one screen on a remote. You don't have to have a bunch of remotes kicking around. I know in my house, I got a lot of remotes, so this is awesome. So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to pop this thing open, and we're going to see what's on the inside of the box. We'll show you what it comes with, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go to the website at plcnetwork.net/blog, and you're going to go check it out and see what we have to say about it when the story comes out, because I don't know exactly when they're going to start working on it. Because again, like I said, there were some hiccups with Z-Wave around here. The old Vera controllers had issues with failing, and there's a lot of firmware issues, yada, yada, yada. They're useful little critters, but they're a real pain in the butt when it comes to firmware sometimes. But once you get them working, they're one of probably the best controllers you can have in your environment. I'd say house, or in our case, office. So, anyways, let's take a look. Let's go inside, and you can figure out for yourself what we have to say, based on what we have to say later, once that information does come out. Be smarter than the box. It's not working. I'm losing. Okay, there we go. All right. Just put that right there. Okay, the hub itself is the first thing you see when you dig into the box. Pretty simple, right? It's just a little hub. Looks like a little stone. Again, it sits amongst all of your other devices and helps to control everything. On the back, you have a pair and reset button. You have a micro USB port and a 1 and 2 auxiliary port. Looks like a 2.5 millimeter aux cable. Doesn't look like your typical 3.5, so I'm definitely going to go with 2.5. And those are going to be for your blasters, your IR blasters, excuse me. You have, side of that, you have a setup guide, which will walk you through setting everything up, how to connect everything, what everything means, and where you're supposed to place the Logitech Harmony Hub. And of course, you have some important information, very important safety information. God, who cares about safety? And next up, we have an IR blaster. This is what connects to one of those, one of 2 ports in the back. So you can have your first one. That it comes with. I believe it only comes with one, maybe? Yep, just one. So if you want 2 IR blasters to point in multiple directions, or one going to a different room or something like that, I'm guessing you would have to buy an additional one, which I think they're only like 15 bucks or something like that. I don't think they're that bad. And you would stick it into the input number 2. Next up, you have a micro USB wall charger adapter. And that box really didn't want to leave. And then you have a USB port, or a USB cable, excuse me, a micro USB to Type A USB cable, where you would be plugging it into a computer to probably update its firmware or communicate directly with it if you're not using your cell phone to do everything, download devices and whatnot. So this is simple, right? You have your hub, you have your IR blaster that comes out of it. This points to all your devices. You have your wall adapter for powering it up, and a sync cable so you can connect it to a PC and set everything up with. Again, for information on how to do all of that, you're going to want to read the instructions that it comes with. It looks like the instructions are pretty not self-explanatory, but explanatory. Well-defined, I guess you could say. There's a couple languages in here, but it looks like they cover everything quite well, all the way down to troubleshooting, and that's what counts. They break it down, they walk you through it, they hold your hand, and they get you working. And once you're working, or once it gets working, and you're working with it with your smartphone app, or in our case, Z-Wave Network, you'll realize how flexible something like this really is, and how everybody should have one of these, at least one of the controllers. It's quite useful, and nobody wants all those controllers kicking around. So there you have it. This is the Logitech Hub, the Harmony Hub. And for more information, you can go to our website at plcnetwork.net/blog. And you can just find out what we have to say about it, because we're probably going to like it. But we'll still talk about it and tell you why we like it and walk you through exactly what I'm talking about in terms of integrating it into the Z-Wave network and why. So thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. If you want to stay on top of all the latest and greatest, and or at least the gadgets we cover, remember to subscribe right here. Subscription button. Click it. You're going to want to. There's lots of videos, interviews, previews, all sorts of stuff. Button. Click it.